Welcome to the Cruise TV, where we focus on the stories and the people behind some of the most amazing rides on the road. I'm your host, Stephanie Listoria, and I'm coming to you from Haggerty Garage and Social in Burlington, Ontario. On this episode, we'll be looking at modern European supercars. We've got a 2021 Ferrari F8 Tributo, a 2016 Porsche GT3 RS, and my car, a 2019 Lamborghini Huracan. Stay tuned, guys.
It's a 2021 Ferrari F8 Tributo. I've owned the car since May 2023. I picked this car because at the end of the day, Ferrari, and I think every kid grows up dreaming of owning a Ferrari. There's a few modifications. The car has a full titanium exhaust with race down pipes and a stage 2 tune. Dream car, it was this at one point, but it's always constantly changing. As I get one car, I dream of owning another one. So I've always been into cars since a very early age. Growing up, my dad always had Corvettes. He was big into Corvettes, big into Harley Davidsons. So he obviously passed that down to me. I've owned multiple cars growing up. So I guess I'll start at the beginning and why I kind of got into cars. My first car in high school was a 2001 Grand Prix supercharged. I think I paid like $3,000 for it. It was my pride and joy, and right around that time was when Fast and Furious actually came out, and everyone was doing like modifications to their cars. So obviously I had to do the same with that car. We did full neon lights in it, sound system, put an exhaust on it. It was truly an awesome car, and I really enjoyed owning that car in high school. But obviously as I aged up, I became more into obviously more expensive cars. Obviously, my dad having Corvettes and whatnot. I really had appreciation for those. He did let me drive them in high school, so I did get a taste for them in high school. And then my dad actually got sick when I was in high school. He had to have a triple bypass surgery when I was in grade 12. And he ran his own company. He didn't really have anyone to take over and help him. So I made a decision to drop out midway through grade 12 to run his business. So I ran his business for the next about 6 months while he healed up, and essentially he didn't pay me for those 6 months. So he wanted to do something nice for me. So his plan was to buy me a newer car. We talked about a few cars. Nissan Altima was one of them. He's like, hey, you want this car? Like, I'll take care of it for you. You know, he really helped me out. But anyways, we went to the Nissan dealership and we saw a 2008 350Z Nissan sitting there. It was a little more, it was a little bit out of our budget. I think he's planning to spend around 20-25K on a car for me. So I made a deal with him. I said, hey, put the money down on this car. I'll work my job and make the payments on the Nissan to pay for the Nissan. So that's how I ended up with that. I had that through, ended up going back to high school and had that car, I guess you could call it grade 13 year of high school, which was pretty cool. We did some modifications to that, exhaust, overall great driving car, good experience with that. After high school, I got into real estate, did really well in real estate, got into Airbnb, flipping homes, anything you can do with real estate, I was doing it. So that obviously gave me the financial freedom to start getting into higher end cars. I eventually bought my first Corvette. It was a 2016 C7 Corvette, which we ended up supercharging, doing a full exhaust system too as well. I like to do exhaust on all my cars because at the end of the day, that's part of the driving experience, and why I enjoy cars so much is just listening to that sound, especially with this car, the Ferrari, when it's in the back instead of in the front. But yeah, we owned that Corvette for 2 or 3 years. I ended up trading up to a Porsche 911 Carrera. Owned that for about 6 months. It wasn't really for me. At the end of the day, my dream car was Lamborghini and Ferrari. So we got rid of the Porsche and got into a 2021 Huracan Evo Spider, a green one. Couldn't miss it. Beautiful car, naturally aspirated V10 engine. Loved listening to that car. Put a huge smile on my face every time I drove it. Got a lot of attention. It's always a dream of mine to own a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, so felt very accomplished when I got into that car. We owned that car for about 2 years. Put about 7,000 or 8,000 kilometers on it in the 2 years. And then I ended up moving to Texas for the last 6 months. So we sold the Lamborghini before I moved to Texas. I was starting a new business in the States. We got back in May this year, 2023, and I needed something. I was getting that itch again to get another sports car, and now was the time. I was looking at Ferraris. I always wanted to get into a Ferrari. Ferrari's just the top of the food chain, and I was very proud to finally be able to own one. And this car has just been a dream come true. It's amazing to drive. We just did the exhaust on it. We did a full riff titanium exhaust with race downpipes. Sounds amazing now. Stage 2 tune. So took it from stock 710 horsepower to 820 horsepower. The torque, I don't know the exact torque numbers, but it's about, I did about 150 increase in torque. And now the car is just super fun to drive. That was what it was lacking, was the sound. When I bought this car stock, the car was fun to drive, but half the experience with these cars is the sound. You want to hear the engine in your ear. You want to hear it pop and crackle. Everyone loves hearing a really nice sounding car. So yeah, that's a little bit about my story and how I got to where I am now. I think I'll always be into cars. It's a passion of mine. I love connecting with other people that are into cars. If you're starting out, don't be afraid to come and say hi if you see me around. I'm always willing to talk about business, cars, how to achieve financial freedom to own these vehicles. You can ask me anything. I'm an open book. And I'm excited for what's coming next. I'm always looking for the next car, the next upgrade. I want to keep climbing the ladder. And eventually I'd love to get into an SF90 Ferrari. And just eventually work my way to owning a hypercar one day.
So this is a 2016 911 GT3 RS. I've had this car about 2 years. I bought it on my birthday a couple years ago. It has an aftermarket exhaust by Sharkworks and a roll cage. I was actually always into BMWs, but I started watching some videos online, and one of the detailers I was watching, he got into a base 911 and then he got into a GT3, and then I kind of started reading a bit more about them, and then I ended up picking this. This is my dream car, and I don't know, I think it's a naturally aspirated aspect of it. It has immediate throttle response, and that's why I prefer it over anything. So I originally fell in cars because of my dad. He didn't come to Canada with much with my mom, and then he ended up starting his own business and working his way up, and he always loved BMWs. So we had a really old, I think it was a 1988 BMW that he would drive me around in all the time. And I fell in love with the BMW engineering and everything like that. And then as I grew older, I ended up getting my own in high school. That was another 3 Series I got, and I've always wanted an M3. And then later on in high school, I kind of started falling in love with Porsche because there's really nothing like them. But I got my first experience because one of my friends in high school, her dad got a Boxster. And then as the years went on, I started watching more shows like Top Gear. I started doing more research on them, and then I kind of set it a goal for myself that in my life I want to have a BMW and eventually maybe a Porsche. So I started looking at Caymans, but they're kind of out of budget when I was a bit younger. And then as I was growing older, I was kind of looking more into the 911 range, and then I started watching more YouTube videos on the 911, and then that's when they came out with the 991.1 GT3, and that was a pretty big manufacturing feat for them and everything they put into that car. So I really wanted a GT3 my whole life, and then I started doing track days and car cruises with my one cousin who had a R8, and then I saw the GT3 RS for the first time, and that's kind of how I started falling in love with them. So as my career grew, I started saving more. I always knew I wanted either a GT3 or an RS, and then I was looking for a long time, and I kind of, about 6 years ago, I was really in the market for one, but I always wanted the specific color. So this is called the Voodoo Blue. It's actually a Toyota color that they came out with, and then Porsche has something called paint to sample. So that's where you can kind of give them any color that you want, and they'll make it for you, but to get an allocation for that's really hard. Now there's not many Voodoo Blue GT3 RSs out there, so it was really hard to find one, but when I almost gave up about 4 years after looking, I was going to get a Lamborghini Performante instead. That weekend I saw one spotted out in Toronto near where I live, and it was someone just spotted it on the street, and it had dealer plates on it. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is my dream car. I have to find a way to get this. And I saw it listed for sale, and that was Saturday, but Sunday the dealership's closed. Monday morning they open at 9, and then pretty much Monday morning they open at 9. I'm on my way to Toronto to see if the dealership still has the car. There's no way for me to email them or call them because they're closed. And then I started pretty much calling them every 20 seconds while on my way to Toronto at 6:37 in the morning. And someone happened to pick up the phone at 8 in the morning, and I said I would buy it without seeing it. This is the car I want. I don't care like how many kilometers it has on it or anything like that. And yeah, I ended up buying that about 2 years ago, and then it's just been nothing but good experiences since then. It sounds great. I have a aftermarket exhaust on it. It's by Sharkworks. I got the roll cage put in the car to paint the same color as the paint of the car in Voodoo Blue as well. And just the amount of experiences it's given me is awesome. I'm pretty busy. I'm working all the time, so I usually try and take it out as much as I can. Most of the time it's on Sundays with my group of other supercar guys. We try and do at least maybe 1 to 2 hour rallies. Sometimes I go to 4 hours, but it's always somewhere different, and just a group of people there. It's amazing. Everyone has a nice love for cars, just like me. We get to see do a lot of charity work. We get to see a lot of cool places. My favorite thing about the car is probably actually showing other kids or adults what it is. People are always intrigued by the color, then they kind of come up to it a bit closer. This car is really special to me because it has all the deviated stitching and everything like that I love in the car. We do a lot of charity cruises, and the best thing, it's awesome to drive all the time, but I'm pretty used to it now just because I can get in any time. But seeing a kid's face when they get into the car for the first time, and you let them sit in it, you let them rev the car a little bit, you kind of show them around the car. This car is kind of special because they pretty much made it as lightweight as possible. It has a magnesium roof on the top. They opted for that instead of carbon fiber just because it saves a few grams. The Porsche logo on the front of the car and the designation on the back of the car, they're all stickers just to save a bit more weight. And then when you kind of show the kids that, let them sit in it, it's really a good experience for them. And then people usually ask what I do, so obviously it's a pretty expensive car for someone my age and it seems pretty unobtainable, but I always set my mind to, I'll have one day, so I started saving when I was a bit younger, and I ended up purchasing one when I was about 25 years old, and it's been nothing but good things since then.
Hey guys, Stephanie here. I'm here with my car. It is a 2019 Lamborghini Huracan LP580-2. I've had it since almost new. I bought it in 2019. Love the car. It's been nothing but so much fun since I got it. So I've been a car girl since I was a kid. I chose this car because it was always kind of a bucket list vehicle for me. I've always wanted a Lamborghini, and when I had the opportunity to finally get one, this was the car that I ended up getting. So the car is definitely modified. Just from looking at it, you can see that the car is very low, so it's lowered. I've got a full body kit on it from Vorsteiner wheels, and some engine mods as well. So this is most definitely my dream car, but my dream is to add a second Lamborghini to the fleet. So my next goal is to get an actual Lamborghini SUV, the Lamborghini Urus. So that is my next one, fingers crossed. It is a beautiful day for a cruise today. Doing my absolute favorite thing is hauling around in my Lamborghini. I have always been into cars since I was very, very young. I think my first kind of core memory or car memory is working on cars with my dad. He had a 1975 Trans Am that I used to tinker with him. He used to ask me to get tools for him while he was underneath in a little creeper, and so I've always been around cars, and I've always been a gearhead and a car junkie for sure. Growing up, I went through, as soon as I had the opportunity to get my driver's license, I ran to Service Ontario and got my license. I've had a car since literally the day that I got my G2. I've always had something that's modified. So I started out with a 1993 Civic hatchback that I used to drag race all the time at Cayuga. It drove my parents crazy. I would blow up an engine pretty much every season. It went through 3 different motors, and all of them were turbocharged and heavily modified. The car was like 2,000 pounds. So the thing was really quick for what it was, especially back then. From there, I went on to a couple of BMWs that were also very heavily modified. I had a motorcycle as well at one point, and then I got into my supercar phase. I had a 2014 Audi R8. It was a V8 and manual transmission, a gated manual transmission. It was so much fun. And then from there, I got my first Porsche, which was a 2018 GT3, brand new. It was the first vehicle I ever bought brand new. I had that for about a year, and then I had the opportunity to trade up for a GT3 RS, so that was a 2019. I only had that car for 90 days. This car became available, my Lamborghini that I'm in right now, and I've had that ever since. I have not been able to sell it. This ticks all of the boxes and hits all of the metrics on everything that I wanted in a vehicle. I just love it, and I mean, of course, I had to put my spin on it. It is also pretty heavily modified at this point, and Originally this car was black and very, very stock. The wheels were, Lamborghini, were hideous on it. And the stance on it was really, really high. So one of the first things I did was lower it, change the wheels, and of course wrap it in the color. Well, actually, it started off as a purple wrap, and now it's the pink, the fuchsia that you see on it today, and that's been like that for about 2 seasons. In addition to the suspension and the wheels, I have a full body kit from Porsche, as well as the wing. That's all carbon fiber. It has been chipped, so it's got a tune on it as well, which is why you probably hear some of the gurgles and pops that are going on back there. And of course I have a full exhaust, and that's by Akrapovic. In terms of people that did the work on this car, these are all like industry friends that I've trusted since I first started playing with cars. JRP was the one that helped me get my body kit on the vehicle. They're also the one that got me the sponsorship for the wheels that are on the vehicle today, which is my third besides the stock ones, my second set of aftermarket wheels on this car. They were gifted to me by Vorsteiner USA as part of a sponsorship program, which is pretty cool. They have been nothing but amazing. Vorsteiner, their quality is unbelievable, and of course JRP were the ones that helped me do that. They're located in Oakville. They're great. My very good friend Zuki has been there for some time, and he is one of the only people I trust with buying car parts from. In terms of like maintenance and all of the stuff that I've done on this vehicle, this car has been phenomenal since I got it. I've had really no issues with it whatsoever other than maintenance. Oil changes are not cheap on this thing, unfortunately, but all of my oil changes have been done by European Automotive. That's also, well, they're in Burlington now, actually, Burlington, Ontario. They are fantastic. And then I also deal with ECC, who did the tune, and then of course Evolution, who I've literally known and been dealing with since I had my 1993 Honda Civic. I've known those guys since I was literally a teenager, and they've never disappointed as well. They are amazing, and Evolution is located in North York. But yeah, that is pretty much the quick synopsis of all of the mods that are on this car, and the car has been great. I've done a lot of really, really cool things with it, and in terms of events, I've done a bunch of rallies with it. We do a bunch of cruises, me and my car friends. It's a lot. It's a lot of fun. So I say it all the time, but I have made some of the greatest friends. I've met some of the coolest people in the car community. It's something that I could never give up. Cars aside and driving a fun car aside, just the people that I've met and the relationships that I've made over the years with other like-minded individuals has been invaluable. I love it. I love everything about the community. I love everything about this car and everything in terms of all the events and things that I do. It's been wonderful. All right, guys, so that's our episode. Thank you so much for joining us on The Cruise TV. If you want to be featured in future episodes, please reach out to us on our Instagram. Again, I'm your host, Stephanie Listoria, and we will catch you cruising on the open road.